Again, and they're hosting all four of these. That's the first time that has happened. Congratulations to Andy Reid and the Chiefs. All right, let's bring in our guys. Lennon Fletcher, our Super Bowl champion, played in more than one or two of these things. You understand these big playoff games. Jonathan Jones, CBS Sports senior NFL writer. Go ahead. I'll make it nice and general. What did we just see?
We just saw. I know that you guys are going to talk about Josh Allen because I was watching the game with y'all. Patrick Mahomes and the greatness that is Patrick Mahomes. I think that very similarly to Tom Brady, we've gotten used to this from Patrick Mahomes. This feels like a breath of fresh air with Josh Allen. Like there's this newness still to Josh Allen. And with Pat, we've been seeing this now for 3 or 4 seasons as though it's like, all right, Super Bowl MVP and the NFL MVP. And, you know, his substandard game is still the game that 28 other quarterbacks would kill for. This was the A++ game from Patrick Mahomes. When you talk about a guy who he only had 190 passing yards there late in the fourth quarter, and he ends up with 378 and 3 touchdowns. He led the team in rushing, and they have Jerick McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This guy is just on another plane, and we saw with the other quarterback meeting him on that plane. You can't take anything away from Josh Allen. When you talk about the greatest young quarterback in NFL history in Patrick Mahomes and that Josh Allen went throw for throw with him, maybe the best playoff game we're going to see this year.
I'm not asking anybody to agree. Patrick Mahomes was incredible. Everything you say, I second. And Josh Allen, to me, was still the best player in the field, even though his team didn't win. And Patrick Mahomes was incredible. I mean, this is... Do you want the steak or do you want the lobster? Whatever 2 things that you think are the best, which one do you want? You can't make a bad choice. Ultimately, when you watch and think about this game, whether it's a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and this comes to mind, what are you going to remember and think about from this game, London?
I'm going to think about we witnessed 2 of the greatest young quarterbacks go at it in the playoffs. And to think that Josh Allen, to go into Kansas City and go, you said blow for blow with Patrick Mahomes, who many consider the greatest quarterback right now playing the game. But this was a heavyweight fight. And you saw, just hit after hit after hit. You thinking one guy was knocked down and then he gets off the canvas.
Scored with 13 seconds to go to take the lead. Tony Romo said, Jimmy, Josh Allen thought he had it won. I thought he had it won.
But he left too much time. But
13 seconds is too much time.
The Buffalo Bills defense is the most disappointing thing in this ball game, especially at the last play of the game in terms of allowing Travis Kelce to to make that catch and to force the game into overtime. I wanted to see tighter coverage. Levi Wallace, he gave up the big play to Tyreek Hill, the touchdown, and he also didn't play tight enough. He's protecting the sideline. Why are you protecting the sideline?
They have 2 timeouts.
They have timeouts. You have to play tighter on coverage, and don't just allow him to run down the field uncovered like that. Though the Buffalo Bills are #1 ranked defense in the National Football League, #1 against the pass, #1 in points allowed. They let Josh Allen down because Josh Allen played well enough to win this ball game.
All right, you played for the Bills. You know the city, you know the culture, you know the fan base. What does this do, losing this way, for that fan base, that city, that ball club, that locker room? What's it going to be like? You won a Super Bowl with a yard to spare. You lost a Super Bowl on a kick at the gun. What is this kind of loss? Is it worse to lose this way?
Man, the Buffalo Bills as a team and as a franchise and as fans, they lost the Super Bowl with a missed field goal. So they've experienced disappointments, four consecutive Super Bowls where they lost in those games. But this game, the emotions where you have Josh Allen play like he played. He makes some incredible throws. The last touchdown to Gabriel Davis with 13 seconds left, you feel like they slayed the dragon. The Kansas City Chiefs have been the dragon to the Buffalo Bills the last couple seasons. And you see that, you're like, 13 seconds. We finally slayed the dragon. We're going to host the AFC Championship game next week. And then to have it end like this, just gut-wrenching.
All right, do we like the overtime rules? Look, I can make a case that I like the overtime rules. It doesn't look good right this moment.
Yeah.
But you can't look at something just as a personal moment. You got to look at it in total. And in total, look, if you can't hold the team to anything but a touchdown, maybe you don't deserve the ball, right? The defense part of the team do. But it does feel like whoever won a coin flip going in the air was going to win the game, and that doesn't seem very equitable.
Well, it felt that way, yeah, and I do agree with that. And it may not feel equitable, but the defense is just as much a part of your team as the offense. And when in the playoffs, there is no real clock, right? There's a clock rolling, but the time doesn't matter because it's not going to end in a time. That you have the time to stop them from going into the end zone. I believe that is fair. Your defense is part of your team. They have to stop them. Now, they kick the field goal. You can go down the field. This game could go on forever. But you should – I don't think that you –
Wouldn't that be fun, though?
It would be.
Here's what I would say. May I make a motion and see if anyone wants to second it and if we can get all in favor. Regular season, I'm happy with the way we do it. In the playoffs, both teams are going to get the ball.
I can. Obviously, I feel like we would be prisoners of the moment based on what just happened.
I didn't like it 2 years ago when Brady did it to Mahomes, and I don't like it now when Mahomes just.
Did you feel that way Sunday morning? Did you feel that way this morning, or do you feel that way right now?
I felt that way 2 years ago. I wasn't thinking about it this morning.
Okay.
If you had asked me, I would have said it because I didn't like it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When Brady did it to Mahomes, I didn't like it then.
Yeah.
And Mahomes has been on both sides of this now. I didn't like it either time. I mean, I know for Mahomes it's been equitable and he's sort of gotten one.
That's right.
But in the playoffs, I feel like it's different.
Here's what I feel. We feel like Josh Allen deserved another opportunity to have the football in his hand. So, yes, right now, I feel like the overtime rules need to be changed. Next week may not feel the same way if it's two different quarterbacks.
But here's the other thing. We feel like Josh Allen deserved to have the football in his hands. We feel for Josh Allen. If this went the other way, if Josh Allen won the coin flip,
I would feel bad for Kansas City.
We'd feel bad. Somebody had to lose this game, and I know that you don't like cliches.
But they lost on a coin flip.
Well, no, they didn't lose on a coin flip. They lost because their defense didn't stop Patrick Mahomes with 13 seconds left, first of all. And then second of all, they lost. Listen, the San Francisco 49ers stopped the Dallas Cowboys with 14 seconds left.
But in this game, neither defense
didn't have any time
stopped anybody late. Neither defense. When was I can't remember the last time either defense stopped either guy in this one.
That's part of the team.
So what happens at the end of these games where the defenses suddenly, which were very different for the first three quarters, can't stop anybody? Are they tired? Does the pass rush get too exhausted? The guys just so good and they get in a groove that there's nothing you can do? We're on the field for 2 decades against these kind of guys. When we see these kind of games where in the fourth quarter suddenly it becomes shootout at the OK Corral, why does that happen?
I think mental fatigue. You look at a couple critical plays in that game with Levi Wallace. He's supposed to have inside leverage on the first touchdown, the big touchdown that he gave up to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
He allowed him to get inside. He catches the crossing route and he goes in for the touchdown. The other play, the Kelsey play.
Yeah, with a few seconds left in regulation.
Play tighter on that. Mental breakdowns. These guys kind of
because they know their technique.
In the heat of the moment, the fatigue, the mental, I guess, brain freeze or whatever the case may be, it happens all the time.
I got you. And as a result, Kansas City advances. So Kansas City will be hosting the AFC Championship game. That's right. And Kansas City's going to play. They're going to host in Cincinnati. That's the way it's going to go. The bracket. It's no surprise here. So Kansas City, Cincinnati, that's your AFC Championship game.
Man.
When you look at this matchup, what are you thinking? First blush, a long time away. We're going to have plenty of time to dissect it. But when I say Kansas City and Cincinnati got sacked 9 times, found a way to win. They've been bad in the red zone. They found a way to win. If they ever got their red zone straightened out, they're going to be a tough group of hombres. If they don't get it straightened out, you don't want to be seeing Patrick Mahomes.
No, you don't. And you mentioned how many times Joe Burrow got sacked. 9 times? 9 times. He got sacked 9 times. Josh Allen evaded about 9 sacks against the Kansas City Chiefs. They were getting after Josh Allen. That's not going to show up on the stat sheet because they don't have quarterback pressures. But if it were Joe Burrow back there, and I love Joe Cool, he is not nearly the quarterback with his legs, of course, that Josh Allen is. And so he got sacked 9 times. He would get sacked 13 times if you were going up against this Chiefs front the way that they played tonight. So that's something they're going to have to get figured out. And I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to get that figured out in 6.5 days.
I say Cincinnati. I say Kansas City. You say what?
It's going to be another shootout. But I say this: if the Cincinnati Bengals are going to have an opportunity to go into Kansas City and win that ball game, Joe Mixon is going to have to play a bigger part in that offense. You just mentioned the 9 sacks. Well, how do you protect your quarterback? By running the football. He is more than capable of carrying the load. play calling.
Right, you're gonna run some screens. You're gonna slow that pass rush.
We're gonna slow the pass rush down. I'm also gonna help you with play calling. Something Zach Taylor didn't help him with yesterday. That's why he got sacked 9 times. I'm not dropping him back and having these deep down the field routes. More short games, more quick passing games, and more of.
Jamar Chase is going to look a lot like Deontay Johnson, where he's going to catch some balls right over the line of scrimmage, slow them down, quick shots, quick hitches, take our shots there, move the chains, keep them going, tire him out, and then hopefully he's not going to get sacked 13 times, because that's a great point. Look, Josh Allen today, just for physical stature and athleticism and just being a big hombre that looks a lot more like, a tight end than a lineman and a quarterback, avoided sacks because of that mere mortals kind of wouldn't have in this case. But Patrick Mahomes says, we won. Simple as that. Amazing job by Mahomes. 13 seconds, had to have a field goal, gets it done. So here's your AFC Championship preview. Bengals, they haven't been there in a while, but they're going to be here now. They played in the regular season. As a matter of fact, Kansas City's 11-1 in their last 12. Their only loss against the Bengals, but it was in Cincinnati, and now it's going to be very different. This one will be at Arrowhead.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.